Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is KPZ, I'm your host. I have to confess, before this match starts, my winning percentage went up to 54%. I am not sure I'm slightly above average anymore. Alright, we are here in the Saipan. Think of the Saipan as the bigger brother to the Independence. You know, I'm just saying if they wanted more carriers in matches, maybe Wargaming could have put the Independence at tier 4 and the Saipan at tier 6 and done that for the Kaga or the Zuiho. You know, just an idea. Or maybe just had the US carriers at tier 4 and tier 6 because they're going to have more. They're going to have the Enterprise. That's also going to be at tier 7. Are they going to give the Americans another aircraft carrier commander? You know? Do they even have enough skills in the skill tree to do that? Just thoughts that I have when I'm playing this game. Alright, so as you know, I'm not a very good aircraft carrier commander, but since the Independence is out and we reviewed the Independence, the Saipan is like the older brother of the Independence. It doesn't have any secondaries, but it does have really nice airplanes. Now, I know, like most US ships, you are trying to get the damage with your dive bombers here. I couldn't drop on that destroyer because it was so close, and then we ended up getting wiped out. Even though I swear I had that immortality thing on, I still got wiped out. So just keep in mind, you might still get wiped out. And maybe I didn't have it on. I don't know. I think I did, though. So, yeah, here are the planes that I really like on the Saipan. And that is the torpedo planes. Now, probably this is because I'm not very good at doing the bomb drops. But also because they drop 2 torpedoes. So it's easy to pile up damage with the Saipan, because on any flight you're going to be putting up 4 torpedoes, which that means that's 4 chances to flood, 4 chances to hit. And so here we're moving in on where we think the destroyer is, and we are going to shoot these torpedoes or drop them right there. No anticipation or belief that they will actually hit the destroyer. But we do get 1 torpedo strike and a flood. Just trying to move on to my next target here before these planes get shot down. As you can see, we are moving in on this other ship. It looks like a Georgia. It is a Georgia. We're going to hold it to the very last second almost and send those out, and those planes fly back to the carrier. That looks like a really good drop, friends. And as you can see, 4 torpedo strikes, but unfortunately no flooding. I don't know if this is true or not, but my belief is that your chances of flooding are greatly improved if you do not hit the torpedo belt. Everyone probably already knows that. I'm probably just saying that. I thought that last torpedo in the spread would hit more on the stern and start a flood, but it did not. Alright, so we're moving back out here with the second flight of torpedo planes. Again, you can see why I like them so much. We already have 20,000 damage. Usually that's about just below half of what I normally get in a carrier match. 40% of the damage I normally get. So I'm pretty happy about that. You can see flat clouds or planes already taking damage. I don't think they're particularly sturdy, but that is what it is. Right as we were about to go in on that destroyer, he gets taken out, which is good because he was the only destroyer in the match. And I often find when playing carriers that I'm victimized by the red team destroyers. So we're going back to the well, going back to the Georgia here, and we're just trying to get these torpedoes on target. Got to watch that indicator to see when they're going to run out. I found myself running out of time a lot on some of the US planes. So that is what it is. Here we're moving in. We're probably only going to get 1 plane's worth of torpedoes off, and that's what's happening. And I think those are just going to miss because we dropped them in a hurry and didn't have time to close up the aiming indicator. All right, back to the bombers. And as you can see, even though we've got planes on deck, this is the problem with aircraft carriers. You start to run into not having enough planes on deck. So you've either got to space out your sorties, and you've also got to select any skill or modification with the ship that increases that recharge time for your airplanes in order to maintain kind of a steady flow of damage throughout the game. And I found that if these first 3 or 4 flights don't go well, then generally I might not have a good of a game. Here we dropped off some fighter planes, however the enemy planes were already dropping. Speaking of dropping, we're going to move in on this Alaska. Not my preferred target. We do get 4 bombs off, simply because of the strength of the AA, and we do about 10,000 damage there. Alright, came out of there with 2.5 planes. I just say that because this one's already given out smoke. We're going to move back in on this ship here and go to do a drop. It is a Bismarck, and we get those bombs off. And that was a very fruitful hit. 4 bombs hit, and we started a fire. We are now approaching 43,000 damage. Any damage cons, so we don't get there. Alright, so here we're doing a truncated flight of just 5 planes. So you see what I mean? We're starting to run into this thing where we don't have enough planes to have a full flight. Now that's not a huge deal, because really at this tier, you're only going to be able to get off 2 runs on any ship due to the strength of the AA at this level, at least in my opinion. But it is something to bear in mind that you've got to really mind your recharge rate when you're doing these sorties. Alright, so I'm thinking about doing a torpedo run on this Bismarck, if that is indeed the ship we're going for here. I think it is. And I don't like using the immortality thing unless I really know I'm going up on a ship with strong AA or the enemy carrier. So we do our drop, get those torpedoes off. And that, again, a 4 torpedo strike salvo and a flood on the Bismarck. Came out of there with 1 plane left. He's damaged. We're just going to throw the torpedoes in the water. And those aren't going to do anything. It's like, hung a right. All right. So just taking a look at the map and the teams. By the way, we're on shards. I'm sure you already knew that. Just trying to plan out my movement here. Although our team is winning in terms of caps, we're about to start losing this game. The enemy is going to start capping Charlie, and we are down by at least 1 ship. But I say that because I think we're about to lose another one. So we are still doing damage, I guess. I guess we're still burning that Bismarck. I thought we weren't. But I believe we are over 75,000 damage right now, which to me is a really nice game in an aircraft carrier, which I really don't play cruisers anymore. I've kind of switched aircraft carriers in there. So if you block me, then you won't get into any aircraft carrier matches. But I don't play them very often at all. You know, I take them out to mess around with them. If I had some strong games, I might play them more often. But for right now, still 60% destroyers, 30% battleships, maybe 5% cruisers, and 5% aircraft carriers. All right, Montana, really trying to avoid this guy. I know he probably has an AA rating of around 100. At least I have that on my AA, on my Montana. So we will activate the immortality, quote-unquote immortality thing. Trying to get that indicator to the bow of the ship, and we do. And as you can see, looks like 2 good torpedo strikes and another fire there. But again, I think it's instantly damage conned. And we are maneuvering right now in autopilot, and I do not have enough planes to put up a flight. You know, maybe there should be a one-time consumable, or maybe it will be in a future aircraft carrier like the Midway or the Enterprise, a one-time thing to give you a full flight back like ASAP. You know, kind of like a torpedo reload booster, but for your carrier-based airplanes. Just something I thought of. I'm sure Wargaming is not going to implement that. So we're waiting for anything to give us a good enough flight or a sortie out here. And I guess we're doing it with just a couple of airplanes. I'm going to relocate due to the location of, I think, the Bismarck here in the middle. This is just a 3-plane flight, and I do not like that they're close together. But we're already committed, and so we're just going to try to get a better angle here on the Bismarck. I'm not expecting to get more than one drop off. So we'll just put it right in the middle. And those do get some damage, but they don't really do anything else. Not a ton of damage. That was not an ideal drop posture for those bombs. All right, back to the torpedo planes. And I'm just thankful we have 4 HE bombers left to go. And I think if this is still the Bismarck, he's giving us a pretty good angle. He's starting to turn in, and that's not great, but anything he's given us better than nothing. Do these torpedoes launched by my teammate hurt me or help me? I don't know. We'll just throw our torpedoes in the water without really doing a torpedo run. And we do get one hit, it looks like, and that's it. We will turn back around and just try to get this down to get one launch off. We're cranking back in the throttle, trying to get it in, and we do actually manage to do a drop. And it looks like both of those torpedoes are going to hit the Bismarck. And we start a flood, and I'm pretty happy about that. Although I believe he damage counted again. I think he did. All right, we are approaching the century mark. Our team is going to lose this match. The enemy has all the cap circles, even though we're only down 1 ship. Since I last mentioned this stuff, the enemy's taken a commanding lead, and I just don't foresee any way to pull this off. But we're going to keep fighting. Plus, this is a pretty good aircraft carrier match for me, so we're just going to keep going. But yeah, we do not win this game. Perhaps I could have done some stuff differently or better. I am not skilled enough to have done any better than I did in this game, RNG notwithstanding. The flooding and stuff like that. You know, we're just coming over here to try to support this Worcester. I see that the, is it in Alaska? This guy doesn't have a lot of health left. And so, I think right as we start our bomb run, oh, never mind. We'll do our drop. I was going to say I thought he got killed. But even though we get a hit, does not finish him off, unfortunately. And the Worcester gets taken out. We're going to circle back around and go for this close ship. Maybe in Alaska, based on that camo. Just throwing the bombs down because we're about to get shot down. We do set the Alaska on fire, and we are over 100,000 damage. Alright, putting the torpedo planes in the air. I'm not expecting much left after the sortie. We just have 2 planes now. We're kind of at the big deficit in terms of getting those aircraft recharged and back on the deck. And I haven't seen any enemy with the clear sky medals, so I don't think we focused too much on somebody. You know, I don't know what to say. We're watching this ship turn, and we're trying to get a better angle on him. And I think this is probably the best kind of angle I'm going to get, which is not a very good one. So at the last minute, we'll kind of swerve and drop, and maybe it'll mess him up. And we do get him with 1 right there. And that puts us up to 105,000 damage. The clock is in the waning moments. We put up our very last flight of HE bombers. I don't think we're going to get a drop off. So the Saipan, obviously, if you like U.S. ships, if you like aircraft carriers, if you like the play style you get out of the Independence, and you can deal with there not being secondary guns. I think this was a Bureau project ship, so I mean, obviously, there wouldn't be a reason not to get it, but I wouldn't speed this up by any stretch of the imagination. It is not a Bureau project worth speeding up unless you are committed to carriers and you really, really want it. And you know, as somebody who played a lot of artillery in World of Tanks, I just don't have the same feeling from carriers. I really don't. Artillery to me was much easier than carriers. All right, here we are on the defeat screen. 105,751 total damage. Looks like we had 14 torpedo strikes and 12 bomb hits, which is kind of an outlier. Usually I have way more torpedo strikes. We ended up with just over 350,000 silver and 2519 ship XP and commander XP. We're kind of midway down, right in the middle of the pack here on our team. I wish I could have performed better for my team. Unfortunately, we didn't. Although I would tell you, for me, and I think a lot of people, 100,000 damage into carriers, if they're just an average player or above average, I think that's pretty good. I don't know. You tell me. I mean, I have no idea. In the mods, Flight Control Mod 1, again, that helps the restoration time or the recharge rate. AA Guns Mod 2. We don't have secondaries, so I think that's pretty important. Concealment system, obviously you need that. And the air groups mod 3, again, helps their return speed back to the ship, which helps you get them back faster. Consumables, the auto damage con, and 4 automatic fighter planes. We don't run any booster flags. Standard permanent camo, and the Duck of War flag, because it's a premium carrier. All right, 47,000, looks like 900 hit points with our build. We've got the Curtiss torpedo bombers, max damage, 9,300, 48 knot torpedoes, they're not very fast. The Douglas dive bombers, max damage, 10,302, and a 68% fire chance with the Douglas bombers, so I think that's, again, where you're going to make your money. AA defense is 70. I think that's just enough to defend yourself. Obviously, if Pobeda comes after you, you might have a bad day. Max speed, 33 knots. That's pretty good. Horrible turning circle, 920 meters. 15.9 second rudder shift. Concealment, 10.3 on the surface, 9 kilometers in the air. Guaranteed detectability is 2 kilometers. The Independence is terrible camouflage values compared to the Saipan. All right, you got this below water Citadel, has a little bit more armor. Since this started as a cruiser, that is not shocking. You have a 19 millimeter bow. Again, if you're counting on your armor to keep you alive, you are in the wrong place. Your deck armor is 16 millimeters, so whatever that's worth to you, that's what you got. And double the pain, that's the strong point of this carrier, that you do double drop on your torpedoes, and that is where I get most of my damage from. But it's a very, it's nice to have that, and I wish the Independence was as equally strong. Here's our commander and the setup we use. Obviously, last 2 rows are biased toward HE bombs, because that is traditionally the strength of the U.S. ships. We got Yamaguchi to help our AA and Swirsky to help our concealment. Anyway, that is the Saipan. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did enjoy it, hit that like button. You can subscribe for more slightly above videos on my channel. Thanks so much for watching.